Thompson Bowling Arena, where Tennessee is getting set to play host to the red-hot LSU Tigers as SEC Saturday night continues right here on your regional sports network. Hello again, everybody. Dave Neal alongside my partner Barry Booker. And Barry, when you begin to look at these two clubs, LSU right now has won 3 straight, second place in the West, while Tennessee has dropped 4 in a row. Kind of a strange season for both of these clubs. What gives?
Well, the Tigers are red-hot and rolling right now, but both these teams have a little bit of trouble defending, and that's going to be the key tonight. Without Brandon Krupp inside, Tennessee could have a lot of trouble with LSU's big man.
Well, let's talk about some young guys that we will see a lot of in the coming years in the Southeastern Conference. Let's start with Glenn Davis of LSU down in the
McFadden and all those perimeter players that Tennessee has. Lofton, the leading three-point shooter in the SEC, 5th in all of college basketball. He is Tennessee's second leading scorer as a freshman, and they need those perimeter guys to play well.
Well, Tennessee has played 5 of the last 6 on the road. Boy, they are just glad to be home. It's LSU and Tennessee next on SEC Saturday night.
The human machine only...
Back inside the massive structure they like to call Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville, Tennessee. LSU and the Vols coming your way in a matter of moments. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups, and we'll start with the visiting LSU Tigers, who will go with the same starting 5 we have seen throughout the 0.8 rebounds. And there's John Brady in his 8th year at LSU, 132 and 98. 14th year overall, 221 and 1. There's a little bit of a change in their lineups as you see the 4th man over, Stanley Asumnu, making his first start this season, and this is because Scooter McFadden was late for pregame activities, so Stanley will get the start tonight, but C.J. Watson, Dane Bradshaw in the backcourt as well. And there's Buzz Peterson, 4th year at Tennessee, 4 games above 500, and his 9th season overall, 162 and 103. And to say that his club needs a win, Barry Booker, would be an understatement.
After 4 straight losses, they got to get it going tonight.
LSU has won 2 straight in this series. That dates back to 1933.
Go ahead, Barry. Interesting matchup, Dave, with Stanley Asumnu matched up against Brandon Bass.
Hudson in the corner, just inside the arc. 2-pointer, no good by Minor, but the rebound by Glenn Davis, no good, and then a hold against Asumnu on Brandon Bass.
And there's the mismatch. Tennessee playing with basically 4 guards along with Major Wingate, and LSU getting 2 cracks at the basket their first trip down, and now drawing the foul because Asumnu can't handle Bass inside.
Fresh shot clock for LSU. Mitchell from the corner. No good, and C.J. Watson pulls down the rebound.
See how long Tennessee can play man-to-man with that huge mismatch inside. Bass, one of the best players in the conference. Tennessee does not have a good matchup there.
Wingate making his 6th consecutive start for Tennessee. Where's number 1? Here's Asumnu off to Lofton, the freshman. He's guarded by Mitchell. Lofton will fire, and he's got it.
Tough shot. Chris Lofton with Daryl Mitchell in his face. Lofton big enough to look right over him and knock out the 3.
Here's some pressure by Tennessee. The Vols, as a team, shoot 38% from behind the arc. That's 5th in the Southeastern Conference as Dane Bradshaw picks up his first.
Already the 2nd foul on Tennessee. As, the matchup problems are trouble for the Vols defensively, but LSU having trouble guarding the Vols on their offensive end of the court.
And Scooter McFadden just checks in, so that took all of 1 minute and 10 seconds before Buzz Peterson went and got Scooter, who was late, by the way, for pregame activities, why he didn't start. Nice pass, and the finish by Tack Minor.
Beautiful little give-and-go action there. Big Baby Davis inside with a nice pass to Tack Minor. C.J. Watson just turned his head and lost him defensively.
Wingate trying to get it inside to McFadden, and a foul. That looks like Antonio Hudson will pick that up, and it will be Antonio's first.
I like this lineup for Tennessee. I believe this is the best 5 players that Tennessee has. So get those guys out on the court, let them play together as much as possible.
4-guard lineup. Watson gets hammered. Count the basket.
See, their perimeter players come out firing, Lofton already with a three-pointer down, and now C.J. Watson with a shot at a four-point play.
Boy, and he's lucky he didn't get hurt.
Tack Miner flew into him. Watson hits the deck, but able to draw that foul. Beautiful shot by C.J. Watson.
Watson, a 41% field goal shooter, 34 from behind the arc, 75% at the line, but could not convert. And a traveling against Brandon Bass. And Asumnu checks in now for Bradshaw. Buds Peterson really trying to get his club to be more focused defensively. That's been their weakest part of their season. Whenever they need that stop, they can't seem to pull it off.
They were able to do it at the end of that Mississippi State game, but those stops have been few and far between in those critical situations. Tennessee trying to crank it up defensively. That's why Asumnu is getting more playing time tonight.
Jump ball arrow favors Tennessee. Shot clock will stay at 18 seconds. Officials today, Tom Lopes, Joe Lindsey, and Jeff Nichols.
Dave, this is a big game for LSU. With 2 losses, they can draw even with Alabama in the loss column. If they can come up with a win tonight, be only a half game behind them in the Western Division standings.
Yeah, Florida thumped Alabama 85-54. That three no good. Davis the rebound. Strange day in the SEC today. Auburn knocks off Mississippi State. And an offensive foul underneath against Brandon Bass.
I think Bass is just so excited. He's got a guard guarding him. So he's running over people trying to get position on the block. Asumnu able to draw a foul.
That's not always easy. Just go back and look at the Auburn-Mississippi State game from today. Marcus Campbell, a 7-footer, went 0 for 4 from the field against a lineup that doesn't possess anybody over 6'6".
And those small, quick guys can give the big guys trouble at times, but usually that doesn't last.
Here's Watson. Shot clock approaching 10 seconds. Asumnu, not a big score, averaging just 1.5 points a game. Gets it back to Wingate. Shot clock's down to 3. Watson has to fire the 3 off the mark. Davis pulls down the rebound. LSU off and running. They will do that every opportunity. And for 3, it's Hudson. He's got it.
Outstanding play by Tack Miner, attacking the basket, drawing the defense inside. An easy jumper from Antonio Hudson.
Tennessee by 1. Here's Wingate on the low block. Single coverage down low, off the glass.
Very smooth by the Major. Backing in on Glenn Davis and able to bank it home.
Wingate, one of the most highly sought-after recruits coming out of high school.
With the increased playing time these last 4 games, Wingate's averaging over 10 points a game during these last 4 games when Crump has been out.
Glenn Davis off the glass. LSU down by 1. Asumnu, no good.
Nice job by Tennessee attacking the basket, and Major Wingate off to a nice start. 4 points for him.
These clubs just exchanging baskets. Barry spoke of these teams, if you had to pick one weak spot, really, in the big picture, it's defensively for both these clubs, and we're seeing a little glimpse of that here early on.
Yeah, we've seen some uncontested layups at both ends of the court.
Here's Davis, shot clock at 5, little fall away. Got the roll.
Glenn Davis looked like an out-of-control shot, a fall away, almost a runaway. But Davis able to bank it home. Not bank it home, but get it home anyway.
Lofton. Bounce pass to Wingate. Guarded by Davis. Little turnaround, too strong. Tack Miner, the 5'11" guard, grabs the rebound and flies down the floor. Behind the back pass to Bass. Here's Davis. Off to Mitchell. That's a 3, no good. And a push by Davis. And that'll be the first on Davis. And the 4th team foul. There's a timeout on the floor. Major Wingate with a major follow. Back after this. By 1 here in Knoxville. We'd like to welcome those of you that just watched Arkansas knock off Ole Miss in a tight one, 66-65.
Sportsnet.
Can nice guys be go-to guys, because their teams really need that from both of them? You know, you look at Brandon Bass, he's really done that this year and gotten the job done. He's the SEC Player of the Week, and I saw him in shoot-around this morning. He really goes through every drill with so much intensity, like it's the last play of the game, so he's getting it done for LSU. The question for Tennessee is, can Scooter McFadden do the same? As you said, Dave, he was late for pregame today, and Buzz Peterson said he's just been trying to do everything to get Scooter into the game and get going. He's just so laid back. They really need him to be a leader, though.
Here it's 10-9, Tennessee on top. Scooter McFadden didn't start tonight, late for pregame activity, so he came in quite early, though. Asumnu got the start, but both are on the floor right now. Patterson just checks in for Tennessee and knocks down the jumper from the elbow.
Both teams very efficient offensively. Tennessee has hit a couple of three-pointers early on. Watson and Lofton both have threes early. And LSU, it's been Glenn Davis inside with 4 points. So both teams having trouble stopping the other.
Bad shot by Minor, rebound to Patterson. Leads the team in this department. Dave Neal and Barry Booker, glad everybody could join us here in Knoxville for a little SEC Saturday night as we wrap up a busy night of SEC basketball. C.J. Watson goes flying to the basket and gets on the board. Tennessee up by 5.
CJ having a nice game, passing it well as always, but he's hit a couple of shots also.
Antonio Hudson goes inside. Back the other way. Asumnu. Bradshaw the follow.
Dave Bradshaw getting the start tonight. Playing well for the Vols. Nice rebound and putback for Tennessee. In LSU, Brandon Bass is hardly touching the basketball on LSU's possessions. We talked about LSU or Tennessee having to guard him with a smaller player, although right now with Davis out of the lineup, Andre Patterson drawing the assignment for Tennessee defensively.
Now inside to Bass, who just slipped off his screen and was wide open.
Finally, Brandon Bass getting the ball inside. Tennessee had guarded him with Stanley Asumnu, a guard, for these first 6 or 7 minutes of the game, and that's the first time Bass has gotten it inside.
McFadden kick it back out to Patterson.
This is a new offense for Tennessee. That's sort of a flex offense that Gonzaga and several teams around the country runs. Tennessee has gone to this as a change, it's kind of a change-up offensively here as they get into SEC play.
Bass just picks up his second foul, but before he picked that foul up, he
Coming at force inside. May have to sit down for a while.
12:24 to go in the opening half. As Patterson.
Tennessee has done a nice job attacking around the basket. One strategy for a team that's undermanned inside, try to draw some fouls on the opposing big guys. Tennessee has effectively done that so far with Bass sitting down with those 2 fouls.
Whipple now running the point. Here's Mitchell to Hudson. Hudson coming off a career-high 26 against Georgia on Wednesday night. Last touch by Tennessee, it will be LSU basketball. Major Wingate checks in for Andre Patterson. Seems to be a little bit more energy from Tennessee tonight.
Yeah, really playing hard defensively, and that has been a big focus for Buzz Peterson over these last few ball games, is trying to crank it up defensively. And the Vols, of course, playing at home, they do a better job with that intensity.
Davis couldn't get it to drop. Here's Bradshaw off to McFadden. He will pull up and knock down that 3 if you're not careful, and certainly Antonio Hudson was well aware of that.
Scooter's been a little quiet lately, and his scoring average is down considerably from the nearly 18 last season. He's below 15 this season.
Part of it's the last 4 games, Barry, where he's averaging just over 9 points a game, shooting 34% from the field. Stanley Asumnu showing a little offensive skill.
And Stanley using the backboard on that trip to the basket. He has missed a few easy shots, drives to the basket like that, trying to lay it in without using the glass. Good job banking that one home.
McFadden with a hold. Average with that first bucket of the game. Came in averaging 1.4 points per game, shooting just 24% from the field. But now he has 2 in the book. Back after this. By 6, 11-10. remaining in the first half as the Vols are on a 9-4 run over the last 4+ minutes. Let's check in with Jen Hildress. It's kind of a special day around college basketball, Jen.
It is. You know, you might think that the coaches out there having kind of an interesting fashion statement. They're all wearing sneakers, so there's a reason for that. This is the National Weekend for the Coaches versus Cancer, and they're asking all the coaches across the country to wear the sneakers just to. I'm loving it. Dave, Barry, how about you guys? You got the sneaks going?
Absolutely. Barry was out here shooting. As soon as he laced them up, he figured it was time to play some ball.
Yeah, I'm against cancer. Come on.
Great cause, and you mentioned that money, $23 million is quite a bit of a change to go to cancer research, and these coaches are all more than happy to put the shoes on and you know, give up a little bit of their dress code, if you will.
Yeah, really great statement by the coaches. Really great game working here. High scoring.
Here's Neltner, former Mr. Basketball in Kentucky 2 years ago, and last year's Mr. Basketball in Kentucky wears the white jersey of Tennessee, Chris Lofton. Bradshaw pulls up for three. That's off the mark. Asunu, perhaps the best athlete on the team, showing some of those skills.
Stanley did a nice job defensively against Neltner, forcing him into a tough shot, and then another basket from Asunu.
Hudson, tough shot falling away. Neltner, the offensive putback. Ross Neltner, the sophomore out of Fort Thomas, Kentucky. Asunu the other way, looking like Michael Jordan tonight.
Stanley's going crazy. Lighting it up for the Vols as Tennessee getting contributions from Dane Bradshaw. Asunu playing very well. The Vols perimeter guys really kicking in tonight.
Asunu with 6 points. Remember, he came in averaging just over a point a game and over and back against LSU. And that will be their third turnover. Tennessee is yet to turn it over.
Tennessee playing some pretty good pressure defense for the most part. And here off a bad shot from Dane Bradshaw. Stanley Asunu on his pogo stick up high, slapping it back home for Tennessee.
How about this? He's the Vols' leading scorer.
Don't get to say that often about Stanley. Out of the gate.
And a traveling violation.
Flex offense, because they don't have the normal lineup with two post guys. All these guys are pretty interchangeable, so that flex really works well with all these guards on the court.
Watson reaches in to poke it away, but it goes right into Darnell Lazar's hands. But an offensive foul as Wingate drew the charge.
Another good play from Major Wingate, as Tennessee has everyone contributing so far in this ball game tonight, playing at home.
See John Brady right there. He's feeling a little bit under the weather. He's been sick all week. Wednesday, he needed a shot just so he could survive through Wednesday's game. He's been battling the flu, and saw him this morning at practice, and he was still feeling the effects. Said he had to play hurt Wednesday night. Wingate off to Lofton, pulls up just inside the circle. And Lazar grabs the rebound. 8:50 to go before halftime. Another LSU turnover. McFadden in front of the pack, gets fouled. Going up for the shot, so that'll be 2. Mitchell picks up the foul. That'll be his first.
Well done by Tennessee to convert that turnover into an opportunity to get to the foul line.
I haven't seen anybody call a timeout.
LSU.
And there's been no.
The LSU team is sitting down on their bench, but I don't think this is a timeout here.
I just got the word. It is a 30-second timeout, LSU.
Up with the basketball there on that replay, kicking it ahead. Scooter McFadden getting to the foul lines. LSU has had some trouble with teams turning turnovers into points. Kentucky went for 29 points off turnovers against LSU.
You know, the other interesting thing during that timeout, I didn't see anybody call a timeout, but then LSU in a 30-second timeout, you're not allowed to sit on the bench. And LSU went and sat down on the bench, and Jeff Nichols, one of our referees, went over there and said, hey, on your feet, boys. You see Buzz Peterson this season. It's been a real struggle for him. Just one game under 500. And I, like a lot of other people, thought that this team would have a chance to be in the upper tier of the SEC Eastern Division this year. And it just seems like every time that they would appear to be ready to make that move, they just couldn't get over the hump.
And it's a very talented offensive group of players with Scooter McFadden, one of the leading scorers in the league last year. Brandon Crump, a solid inside guy, a veteran point guard, and C.J. Watson. But it hasn't come together defensively for this club as of yet. And that's the problem for the Vols.
What I like about Buzz Peterson, you saw him on the bench moments ago. There's Brandon Crump. That's one of the reasons that they dropped 4 in a row. You lose your best interior player, perhaps your best player. That's always going to hurt. But, you know, at practice today, Buzz was so positive, you know. He was very energetic with his guys. And, you know, when you've lost 4 straight, you're 1 game under 500, you need that. You can see that some of these players maybe dragging a little bit, but when your coach is upbeat about it, that really helps you, and I think we see the effects of that here tonight.
And that was the thing for Tennessee. With this 7-game stretch that the Vols had, Hudson scores, but Tennessee needed to just come out of that stretch with some confidence, and I believe they've done it with a lot of positivity from their head coach, Buzz Peterson.
John Brady getting a little fired up at his guys, telling him to get back and play a little defense. That's one of the things that early on when this LSU team was struggling, they were putting points on the board, but they weren't getting back defensively, and they were giving up a lot of points at the other end, and teams were shooting 50% against them.
LSU tried to play a more up-tempo game, but they sort of forgotten what the hallmark of LSU basketball was, defense and rebound.
And we didn't see much of that on that possession from LSU. Patterson lays it up and in.
And LSU just not playing with a lot of energy and fire tonight. Brandon Bass sitting on that bench with those 2 early fouls, a big blow for the Tigers.
Here's Davis, he's free, gets pushed from behind a little bit, no whistle.
Oh, no.
And then that'll be Davis's second foul. Boy, it looked like Patterson got pushed right in the numbers.
And it's hard to move a mountain. Patterson able to get away with it.
Well, Davis with 2 fouls, Bass with 2 fouls, and Stanley Asumnu, you ready for this? Has 6 points. Big Stanley getting it done in Knoxville. Kind of night it's been for LSU as they trail by 10 in Knoxville. Watch Patterson push Davis in the back, and Davis misses the layup. So instead of 2 free throws, possibly a 3-point play, Davis then tries to get the ball and picks up his second foul.
And you see Davis pretty much going straight up off 2 feet, and he ends up off the field of play here, off the court, after getting shoved in the back, and Davis showing that frustration, getting his second foul. But looks like John Brady having no choice but to let Big Baby play with those 2 fouls. And probably Bass is going to sub in for him after sitting down with also 2 fouls.
So 1-1 the rest of the way out of the half for Tennessee. Patterson knocks down the free throw. Andre, the transfer out of UCLA, shooting 64% at the line. Andre, 6 points tonight, 3 rebounds. Averages 7 points a game and 6 rebounds. Bradshaw checks in for Tennessee. Bass also on the floor, and they keep Davis on the floor as well.
Yeah, just a dream start for Tennessee. Getting off to a 12-point lead. You got Bass and Davis with 2 fouls apiece. And Tennessee, if they're smart on the offensive end, they'll attack the basket, try to get a third on one of those big guys.
Here's Davis inside. Double team comes, but he's able to knock it in. There's Glenn Davis. Great hands. Soft touch for a big fella. They say he weighs about 316 pounds right now. McFadden fires a 3, way short. They'd like him to play about 295 in the future. It'll be LSU basketball.
I think Bass got a piece of that shot from Scooter McFadden. And LSU trying to make a push here. Tennessee had a nice lead on Wednesday night against Vanderbilt over in Nashville. The Vols relinquished that one. See if LSU can turn the same trick here in Thompson-Boling.
Leading the way at 8.8 per game.
Figures and rebounding. His confidence has grown. Davis playing very well and playing off Brandon Bass.
Bass triple team, gives it off to Minor, the three. Davis another rebound. Strong to the basket, he has free throws on the way. Davis with 5 boards in this game already.
Who are used to winning and who did a lot of winning on the high school level.
8-point Tennessee lead.
Tigers drop back into a 2-3 zone.
Dewan Smith, long three, no good. Lofton keeps it alive. Lofton hit a 3 to start this game, but he's been quiet ever since, Barry.
He has been. Tennessee needs to attack this zone right there. Take it inside. Good job by Bradshaw. Second leading scorer for the Vols as a freshman. A big surprise. Chris Lofton's able to come in and step into that starting role.
Watson with a steal. The layup is good. C.J. Watson gives Tennessee a 10-point advantage.
C.J. Watson, one of the leaders in the SEC in steals. You can see why. A very crafty maneuver by Watson to sneak in on Glenn Davis and take it away.
Boy, Tennessee's defense is not the same group. It doesn't even look like the same group of guys I've seen the last couple of times I've had the Volunteers.
Yeah, they're so aggressive out on the perimeter, and you see the quickness that the Vols have out there with all those guards on the court. Watson able to sneak in, take it away from Glenn Davis, and it's Tennessee's quickness on the court that is the factor. They have this huge mismatch with Dane Bradshaw trying to guard Brandon Bass, but LSU can't get it to him because of the pressure that Tennessee's applying.
Hudson. Foul underneath. As he goes strong to the basket. Yeah, they're at 76.1% best in the conference. That's an outstanding clip for a team, because there's always usually a guy or two that are 50% shooters that bring that down into the upper 60s.
Yeah, Hudson's kind of a weak link there. He's the only guy in the starting lineup that's shooting under 70% from the line. Tennessee has to attack this zone defense. Don't just pass it around the perimeter. They've got to get it inside. Tennessee some trouble. Let's see if LSU will get the ball to Brandon Bass inside.
Well, they're trying to post him up now. Now he steps outside. Mitchell off the glass. Big Baby grabs the rebound, and a foul on the floor, but it'll be free throws. Player of the year. Gets 1 of 2. Patterson the rebound. McFadden. Just 1 field goal today. Actually, no field goals. He's 2 of 2 at the line. 0 for 2 from the floor. The team's leading scorer has yet to scratch from the field.
At the Vols, still with 31 points, getting contributions from some unexpected sources. This LSU zone giving Tennessee all kinds of trouble.
McFadden, little runner off the iron. Davis, another big rebound. Boy, he has been aggressive, to say the least, on the glass.
When he gets his hands on the ball, it's over. It's his.
Forcing it in to Bass. An errant pass. Here's Smith behind the back to Patterson for the jam.
Pretty pass from Smith. Andre Patterson running the court to get the easy finish. Tennessee turning turnovers into points against LSU.
Back to a 10-point advantage for the Vols. Attack Minor into a double team. Tries it again. Blocked by Patterson. Up ahead to McFadden. Here's Smith. Around to Lofton. Pump fakes. Here's a 3. In and out. Patterson, another offensive rebound. Andre Patterson with 11 points and 5 rebounds.
And the Vols playing with passion, playing with fire. Defensive intensity out of the Vols.
Bass spins into a double team, still takes it up, gets his own miss. Won't go down. Now it's Davis. He'll try it, and he's fouled by Patterson.
And Brandon Bass just can't believe it. Being guarded by Dane Bradshaw, and he just can't get going.
I've told you, those young guys can cause those big guys some problems. Watch this fast break. Patterson knows what to do with it at that level. Timeout on the floor. Tennessee on a roll. Big Orange cruising by 12. First half basketball, long way to go, and we'll give you some food for thought, if you will. It's time for our Southeast Toyota trivia question. And last season, Jaime Ureta of LSU led the SEC in rebounding. Who was the last Tennessee Vol to do the same?
Vols have some great big guys in their history. I think back to Reggie Johnson in the late 70s. Of course, Bernard King, Dale Ellis. I don't think we got to go back that far to find the Vol lead the conference in rebound.
Jen Hildreth reporting from that LSU Huddleberry that John Brady's message was, guys, we got to get some points on the inside.
Yeah.
Lofton comes in to grab that rebound. Glenn Davis with 10 points and 8 rebounds already in the first half. He's been a one-man show for LSU.
LSU's getting away with playing. Tennessee hadn't attacked them. The Tigers play in the zone, of course, to protect the big guys, Davis and Bass, who both have 2 fouls.
Back to Bradshaw inside, lost the handle. Shot clock under 10. Watson. Lofton open for 3, left it short.
Pretty good job.
Boy, if the other guys on the floor had been playing with his kind of passion tonight, this would be a different story. Davis has brought his game.
And that's why the crowd and the coaching staff for Tennessee reacted so strongly to that play, because they know how critical Davis is to the LSU cause. 1,000 points for Big Baby.
Taken away by the Tigers. Here's Mitchell. He gets the layup to go down. Down to a 9-point lead.
Vols had been cruising along, but all of a sudden LSU has fought their way back in it.
That'll go against Lazar. And Bradshaw will step to the line.
Play by Glenn Davis. The Tigers fought their way back in, cut this thing down to 9.
Tom Lopes with a smile. Well, let's revisit our Southeast Toyota trivia question. And Jaime Ureta led the SEC in rebounding a year ago of LSU. Who was the last Tennessee player to do that? Well, you got to go back about a decade. You might remember this guy. He had a little bit of game. Steve Hamer.
Big 7-footer for the Vols, mid-90s. Steve Hamer led this league in rebounding in the 96 season.
Ended up being drafted by the Boston Celtics.
Hamer had knee trouble, cut his career short. I have a future in broadcasting. He's pretty good behind the microphone.
So Bradshaw steps to the line and misses the front end, and Davis now with a double-double.
LSU all of a sudden with an opportunity here to cut what was a 14-point lead. Looked like a blowout, or was it 16?
16, got to 16.
LSU a chance to cut it to 7 or 6.
Barry, that was with 2 minutes to play in the half. Mitchell, loose ball, throws it up and is fouled. That'll be, they're going to say it's on the floor, but I thought he got the shot off. It'll still break. Tennessee led 40-24. And they have now scored 9 straight since Brady called that timeout moments ago. Long 3 from Lofton, in and out, no good. Patterson, put back, no good. Bradshaw has it blocked. Up ahead to Whipple, time expires. But Tennessee will go to the locker room leading by 7, but it was 16 just 2 minutes ago. Jen Hildreth standing by. Jen.
Coach Peterson, LSU able to make a run there at the end of the half, but you've got to be pleased with the way your team played for most of this first half.
Yeah, they showed some intensity, and just like Vanderbilt, the last 4 minutes we kind of slipped a little bit, and so we got to correct that. But come out in the second half and be more aggressive.
All right, thank you, Coach. Best of luck. Well, Tennessee on top after withstanding a big run from LSU there at the end of the half. We'll see if the Vols can keep it up. It's good to be at home just the second time in 3 weeks. I'll be back with more at halftime in just a moment.
We are back inside Thompson Bowling Arena, where LSU with a nice 9-point rally to end the half closes the gap to 7. Dave Neal back alongside Barry Booker. And Barry, interesting day in the Southeastern Conference. There's no way you could have guessed the outcomes of today's games. So let's take a look at some of those scores as we run through them. What do you think? At 6-2 in second place, we will see the Gators right back here in Knoxville next Saturday night. But Tennessee at 3-5 needs to turn it up in a hurry.
Big homestand for the Vols. They have LSU, Bama, and the Gators also in here at home. And on the western side, Bama dropping that game. LSU with a chance.
You're watching FSN.
Tennessee leads it 40-33. LSU went on a 9-0 run over the last minute and 25 seconds to close a 16-point lead down to 7. Dave Neal, Barry Booker back alongside here in Thompson-Boling Arena. And Barry, Tennessee to me looked like a team that I haven't seen in a couple of weeks. And I think it all got started on the defensive end. However, LSU did come out and show us a big baby, just a freshman, is for real.
But yeah, Tennessee playing with a lot of fire and passion tonight and doing a job scoring points. They get 40 in the first half, but allow LSU to get back in it right at the end of the half on that 9-zip run. As we get into the highlights, here's Glenn Davis early on, that fadeaway jumper. As you can see, he had his shooting touch in the first half. Antonio Hudson with a nice first half. He's in double figures at 11. And Tennessee turning turnovers from LSU into points. Andre Patterson off the nice pass from Jawan Smith. And here's C.J. Watson getting a steal and getting 2 for Tennessee.
Our first half statistics certainly will show you that Tennessee got off to a good start, shooting 48.5% in the first half, while they held LSU to 39% from the field. Tennessee by 7. Second half basketball just around the corner. You look at the parents of Buzz Peterson. That is Robert Sr. or Bob Peterson, who's a Tennessee graduate, used to buy season tickets here all the time to watch the Vols play, and now his son is the head coach, and it's his birthday. Wish him a happy birthday.
Hey, my birthday weekend too.
That's
Super Bowl
right.
weekend.
No, it's your birthday month. I thought we discussed that.
Yeah. I'll be traveling around the Southeast the rest of this month, accepting gifts, meals.
On the Booker birthday tour.
Yes. Any well wishes available. Me and the Super Bowl are about the same age, you know. The first Super Bowl played a couple of weeks before that blessed day that Mom and Dad welcomed me home.
Blessed for who?
Well, me. Super Bowl, the numbers on that Super Bowl XL next year, that's making me a little nervous.
Here's Davis inside. Big Baby has it blocked by Wingate. Brandon Bass. Now the big boys inside are playing with some authority that we thought we would see from the opening tip.
Here's the edge for the Tigers inside as we have gotten down to just 5:40 to play. Davis and Bass have done a nice job avoiding that 5th foul as both have played with 4 for quite some time. Ball's really not doing a real good job screening in this offense to keep that continuity going.
Tough shot by C.J. Watson. Whipple was right in his face, but give Watson credit.
Yeah, when you shoot it like that, it doesn't matter whether you're screening or not. C.J. knocking out the 3. Another big one. He's had a couple. As LSU's gotten close, C.J. Watson's hit big 3s.
Here's Bass. Lost the handle. Well, not much movement on that set by the LSU Tigers. It was like, give it to Bass and watch.
Yeah, and it's getting late now. LSU still down by 10. John Brady getting very concerned.
Jack Miner on that LSU bench. We expect to see him back here in a matter of moments. I would assume that we would see him. Major double team. Kicks it out. McFadden fires. No good. Lofton with the rebound. Watson for 3. Got it!
Inside out once again. The offensive rebound by Lofton, kicking it out to CJ. Oh no.
And that's it for Glenn Davis, and he's not happy, but nothing he can do about it. Davis will foul out with a nice ball game tonight. Despite the foul trouble, had 17 and 13.
As you see Major Wingate move quite a lot as Glenn Davis came in behind him. And I think it's just Wingate not being strong, hanging in there when that contact came. Glenn Davis, good night, sir. Big loss for the Tigers. Glenn Davis had an excellent night.
Another double-double for the big man. It's hard for me to call him Big Baby. I mean, it just, at 6'9", 315 pounds or so, and moves like he does, is quite amazing.
And we need to make sure that, actually, we need to send somebody to make sure that's okay with him, that we call him Big Baby.
Well, he will watch the rest of this one from that LSU bench. Ross Neltner checks in for him, and Wingate knocks down the free throw. Davis and Bass probably spent somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 minutes on the floor together tonight.
Yeah, and that's LSU's big advantage, having those two guys in the lineup. Tennessee took a big gamble. They went small, had guys like Asumnu and Bradshaw guarding Brandon Bass for much of this night. The Vols have played very well on the defensive end with a lot of passion.
I will say this, though, with Davis on the bench, he now has 7 double-doubles to tie for second in the league. Lawrence Roberts with that dozen. But with Neltner on the floor now, you do bring in one more perimeter player, three-point shooter. Whipple off the mark.
Yeah. LSU now with 4 guys, as you say, Dave, 4 guys who can stretch the defense, surrounding Brandon Bass inside, and that's where the Tigers need to go. Get it to Bass down low and let him make things happen.
You know, and ultimately LSU, if you think about Brandon Bass, you don't necessarily want him to take the three, but he's a 50% shooter out there. He's 8 of 16 on the year. Bounce pass to Wingate, trying to draw the 5th on Bass. Last touch by LSU. There'll be a timeout on the floor with 3:43 to play in this one. Tennessee up by 15. It has been a frustrating night for John Brady, but a good one for the Vols. Still some time left. Back after this. Tennessee by 15. And Barry, you and I just speaking during the break, and Buzz Peterson, after a loss at Auburn, decides to go to a small lineup, 4-guard lineup, and he did it again tonight. And his 4 guards have been pretty effective, and I think at times frustrated LSU's big people.
Yeah, an effective approach for Tennessee. Just get your best 5 players out there. Don't worry about the size. So Tennessee brings the 4-guard lineup. They gamble, putting Dane Bradshaw, Stanley Asumnu, those guys on Brandon Bass, and it looks like they're going to get away with it big time tonight. Knock off one of the top teams in the West, LSU.
Tigers need to step on the gas here in a hurry if they want to make this 15-point comeback.
Tennessee has moved their offense way out on the court. They're just thinking about milking clock, wanting to take about 30 seconds off the shot clock with each possession.
Juwan Smith with a long 3. Followed by Patterson.
How about the game that Andre Patterson had off the bench for Tennessee? Double figures in rebounding and points.
13 points, 12 rebounds, and the 17-point lead is the biggest of the game for Tennessee.
The Vols take over 30 seconds off the shot clock and end up with 2.
Well, Andre Patterson, because of his efforts, will be awarded our BC Powder Play of the Game. And why not? It was a pretty good one.
Tennessee ran that shot clock down, just thinking about running the clock out in this ball game. And Andre Patterson gets possession when LSU can't handle the rebound. Andre Patterson, our BC Powder Play of the Game.
And LSU just turns it right back over to Tennessee off the inbound. So now the Vols will try to take about 30 seconds off the clock once again.
Big blow to LSU. Great opportunity for them, knowing that the other top contenders in the West had gone down, Mississippi State and Alabama. Bad shot. Playing like a freshman there, Chris Lofton taking that shot early in the shot clock.
There were 17 seconds on that shot clock, 18 seconds. But now the junior Watson will put it in his hands and give it to Juwan Smith.
Big stat there. Tennessee plus 10 in the points off turnover stat. A place where LSU has gotten in trouble several times this year.
Smith out of the corner. Got it.
Perfect. Tennessee executing offensively, running the shot clock down. Watson with the dribble penetration. Easy jumper from Smith off the inside-out action. And Tennessee up by 20 and in total control.
Hudson. Boy, the perimeter defense of Tennessee today has been exceptional.
And it's the fire, it's the passion that the Vols have brought on the defensive end of the court. And you know they can score. Tennessee with very good offensive players, a guy like C.J. Watson who can set his teammates up for good shots. Beautiful kick out from Watson to Smith. Tennessee playing with that intensity defensively. If they can keep that going, this three-game homestand will turn out great for them with Alabama and Florida coming up as the next two opponents for the Vols.
4 seconds on the shot clock. Well, John Brady came into this and battling the flu, and he's not going to feel any better when he walks out of this building tonight. Mitchell, little runner. It'll still be LSU basketball. C.J. Watson is our CarQuest player of the game with 18 points, hit 4 threes, and had 5 assists tonight. And for C.J., that's just one more notch in his belt in terms of assists. That's his 11th game with 5 or more assists.
Just a great effort from Tennessee tonight. Effort, passion, execution on the offensive end of the court, and lots of players contributing for the Vols tonight. Good effort from Asumnu, Wingate, Smith, just right down the list. Tennessee getting strong performances from just about everyone.
Watson will try another 3. Now 4 out of 6 from behind the arc. Bass the rebound off to Hudson, who lost the handle. And now Tennessee can take this down to about 11 or 12 seconds.
Sweet win for the Vols tonight, playing at home after 4 consecutive losses. Excellent job by Tennessee, keeping their heads up. They continue to fight. They come up with a big performance against a very good LSU Tiger club.
Wingate, finger roll. It has been a strange day in the Southeastern Conference in basketball. And another strange game here. And it's strange just because the two teams appeared to be going in different directions. And how about this? Tennessee finishes the game on a 15-0 run. When Davis fouls out, Tennessee took complete control. And Buzz Peterson snaps a 4-game losing skid. They even their record at 11-11 and go to 4-5 in SEC play. LSU will drop to 12-7, 5-3. When we come back, we will hear from some in the victorious party. The Vols win it by 22 at home. Back with more after this.
Totally Football is your inside source for all pro and college gridiron news.
The hardest hitting football show in the biz.
Patrick O'Neill and our insider Jay Glazer break all the stories before anyone else.
When I first broke it, people were telling me, yes, this is going to cause such a heated debate.
We'll take you inside the huddle and behind the scenes for all the pigskin action. Totally Football, weeknights on FSN.
Southern Outdoors, 2.5 hours of paradise for the outdoors sportsman. First up, see what it takes to win it all on Striper Fishing USA. Then catch your flight on Bob Redfern's Outdoor Magazine. Next, go along for the ride on Alan Warren Chevy Sportsman. Finally, learn the tricks of the trade on O'Neill Outside. Each week, go behind the scenes with the pros on Southern Outdoors. Sunday mornings at 6:30 on FSN South.
Well, the points from their point guard, C.J. Watson. They also get a double-double from Andre Patterson off the bench, 13 and 12, and they beat LSU by 22 here at home, and Barry Booker standing by with a happy Buzz Peterson.
A very happy Buzz Peterson. Coach Peterson, how about this game? You get contributions from Andre, from Asumnu. Seemed like everybody just gave you big plays.
I was very proud of Stanley. It's been a tough year for him. When I made a rotation go to 7, kind of left him out there, but he came up big for us tonight and made some big plays and got us going in transition.
And you guys do the job defensively, playing with that passion that you always talk about.
They have. They played with a lot of passion tonight. And I was very happy for the guys. Auburn and Vanderbilt, we were so close, but we didn't execute down the stretch. We were able to get it done before we got to the 4-minute timeout tonight.
And after those 4 losses in a row, you guys kept your heads up and really played hard, played well tonight.
Barry, I was really concerned after the Vanderbilt game where we were mentally. And in the locker room, I think the guys were shocked that I was in there upbeat about the game and all that stuff. But I had to make sure I had their heads for this stretch. We got 3 games at home.
All right, congratulations, Coach. Good luck in these next few. And now we'll go to Jen Hildreth with C.J. Watson, our player of the game.
Thank you, Barry. That's right, CJ. What a game you had, and what a game your team had. I mean, we just heard Coach Peterson talk about how you guys had kept your heads up, but it has got to feel good to get this win.
Yeah, it feels really good to get this win. We lost like 4 straight and finally came home and got a big win.
What do you think the big difference was in this game?
Just a lot of energy, came out focused, ran the offense good, played good, solid defense.
Well, how about your own play? 18 points, 5 more assists. I mean, it was a great game for you individually as well.
Yeah, I just tried to knock down my open shots. My teammates found me. We just tried to push the ball and get open baskets.
Little sense of maybe intensity here that you knew you needed to perform?
Yeah, we know we need to step up and win games one at a time, man. This is only 7 games left, so we got to take it one at a time and try to win them all.
Obviously, this is an important stretch for you guys. I mean, looking toward the postseason, goals still there for this team?
Yeah, our goal's still there. We just got to take it one game at a time, like I said, and just be focused and take it one game at a time and just be ready to win.
You make a good coach, one game at a time. Thanks so much, CJ. Let's go back to you, Dave.
All right, thank you very much, Jen. And building empties out, but the game's only tie was when we tipped it off. Tennessee led from beginning to end. They finished the game on a 15-0 run, and LSU was held scoreless over the last 5 minutes and 52 seconds. If Tennessee can play like this the rest of the way out, Barry, I think there'll be a handful for a lot of teams, simply because I think they now pose some matchup problems with this 4-guard lineup.
Yeah, and they do this without Brandon Crump, their best inside player. So if they can get Crump back on Wednesday, Alabama and Florida coming in here, the Vols are very good at home, as they were last year, 7-1 in the league at home last year. If they can get that going at home, steal a game or 2 on the road, they could get back into this race in the SEC East.
Well, here's a look at that East race you are speaking of. Florida in second place behind Kentucky. They'll be here on Saturday, a game you can see on your regional sports network on SEC Saturday night. Vanderbilt and Tennessee now locked up at 4 and 5. Of course, the top 2 teams out of each division will get a bye in the SEC tournament in Atlanta the second week of March. Right now, Alabama out in front of LSU in that SEC Western Division. LSU had a chance to pick up and tie Alabama for the top spot in the West, but not the case tonight. So the final score from Knoxville. Tennessee wins at 77-55. Tune in next week for more SEC Saturday night basketball starting at 5 o'clock Eastern as Florida takes on Tennessee, followed by Vandy at Mississippi State. So for my broadcast partners, Barry Booker and Jen Hildreth, I'm Dave Neal saying so long, everybody. We'll see you down the road.
Since its launch in